In 2 days, drug possession becomes a crime again in Oregon, and talks are ongoing as to how that will be enforced in downtown Portland.
I've been in a lot of meetings, folks, so I'm trying to give you the best of my knowledge.
Starting Sunday, if police catch someone in possession of hard drugs, they'll put them in handcuffs and check to see if they have any outstanding warrants or immediate medical issues. If they don't, they'll be offered what's called deflection, the option of treatment over jail.
And right now, because there is not a location to take people to, we'll get on the phone and we'll call the deflection coordinator.
That's when the team at 4D Recovery comes in.
They're going to call us and we're going to send over a person in recovery, a peer, somebody like me, to try to talk to the person about, entering treatment, quitting using drugs, starting their road to recovery.
They will have 3 to 5 peers doing this across Multnomah County. Portland police will wait 30 minutes for them to show up.
We're not able to just wait around.
So we'll get there as quick as we can in this immediate iteration.
From there, police will leave, and the person using drugs will have 30 days to engage in recovery services. If caught again within the next 30 days, they'll go straight to jail. Police will rely on the county to keep track.
But somewhere in here, common sense has to prevail, right? If it's, every 2, 3, 4 days, we're contacting the same person over the course of a 30-day period, then my direction is going to be that we need to take that person to jail.
Obviously, if I had to choose, I think it's good. That's what we get, that they're doing treatment over jail. We'll take what we can get.
Due to short staffing, that choice is only available to people Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Outside those hours, people face a citation or jail.
I didn't realize addiction followed those hours. I don't know.
There is certainly a lack of equity in that. But I would argue that it's not necessarily uncommon. I'm not saying it's right. This is going to be a work in progress. This takes off on Sunday, and it's going to be a work in progress.
Now, due to this work in progress, the chief is expecting to make changes to how they respond to this as soon as next week. Pat?
And Blair, I get that it won't be an overnight fix, but what about people calling in from the community? Can people expect to get a police response if they call 911 or non-emergency to complain about public drug use that they see?
So the short answer is yes, when resources are available. Just because a law changes on Sunday doesn't mean Portland police will have some team dedicated to finding people using and possessing hard drugs. The closest thing they have to that would be, say, the downtown bike squad. But even then, they have other police work that needs to be done. Here's the chief asking for patience earlier today.
I am going to ask for some grace and some patience. I fully expect there will be times when people will call, but the delay in our response, when we get there, the person will be gone, which once again is not uncommon for other calls for service, unfortunately, but that's a reality. We don't have enough officers. The reality is the police bureau, as you said, just as recently as a few years ago, had 200 plus more than we have currently right now, and the demand is high, and the expectations are high, and the challenges are real. So we do not have enough.
Well, okay, Blair, but since they're so short-staffed, how can they spend 30 minutes waiting for an outreach worker to meet them? What happens if the outreach worker doesn't show up in time?
Right, so those questions came up today. The chief says he wanted it to be 15 minutes, but given the few outreach workers actually doing this work across Multnomah County, he said it's more realistic for it to be 30 minutes. But if they don't show up within that 30-minute window, police will take people to jail. The reality is they may get another more pressing call they need to respond to within that window. And it's unclear if when that happens, they will cite and release people or take them to jail or send some location information to the outreach worker to find them. That really all falls under the officer's discretion. Now, we talked with those people at 4D Recovery. They're doing this deflection outreach work in Clackamas and Washington County as well, but with a slightly different approach.
Also, like in other counties, what we're doing is people who are cited or whatever, we're getting a list of those people and then we're following up, or we're going to meet them at the courthouse. We're finding different ways so that it's not this burden on the police to sit and wait, because they shouldn't have to do that. And so however this plays out over the long term, what is important is that we're not having a criminal justice approach solely where we just want to lock everybody up.
All right, so there's no list right now in Multnomah County like he was describing is happening in neighboring counties. But I want to go back to Portland Police. The chief took time today to express his safety concerns around all of this, seeing as this is a law that officers have not been enforcing for a few years now.
There's risk involved with using law enforcement now to step into this space that it has not been in for several years. And what I mean by that is the physical, taking people into custody, putting handcuffs on them. There's a high likelihood there will be uses of force involved. And I just want to be really clear that we all have our eyes wide open, that we are doing our best to interdict into a space with our community that we believe is in the best interest of both the individuals that are participating in this drug use as well as the overall sentiment of the community. But there are risks involved, and we will do everything in our power to mitigate those. We will continue to be consistent with our policies, our procedures, our oversight, our documentation. None of that's going to change. We will, with the use of body-worn cameras, we're going to be able to have lots of material to review and see.
All right, so again, the regular hours for this deflection option will be Monday through Friday, but we're told there'll be limited hours for the first 2 days over the holiday weekend as this whole thing gets kicked off, and we'll be following it. Pat.
All right, thank you, Blair. It's going to be fascinating to see how it all rolls out.